Welcome, guys. We are going to start chapter 10. Chapter 10 is all about 3D shapes. We're going to look at finding the surface area, the lateral area, the volume. We're going to look at a lot of definitions and names of some 3D shapes. So I just want to start, see if you knew some already. I know a lot of people have talked about cubes, pyramids. Other people said they knew about rectangular prisms, which is like a Kleenex box. Cylinders, maybe. Like your cans, maybe. A cone, like an ice cream cone. Those are just a few to kind of start. Maybe spheres we've heard of before. So we're going to add some kind of 3D shapes to your repertoire. We are going to start today by just talking about some definitions, and then the rest of this chapter will be finding volumes and surface areas and things like that. For chapter 10, some of the days are going to have a lesson and a homework in the same day, and some of them won't. So just be watching on Google Classroom if there's one assignment or two. It's kind of vary on the day depending on how long I think it might take. So today we are going to have a lesson and a homework. So we're going to start. This is 10.1 and 10.3, kind of looking at some of that. I want to start actually here. These are some terms. So a prism is just taking two parallel bases. So these are the bases here. And when you connect them, you make a prism. So the things that connect them, these are called faces. So this one's called a triangular prism because the bases are triangles. So a cylinder right here just has circles as the bases. So, and then it is connected by basically a curved surface that goes all the way around. I think of it like a canned good going all the way around. And then a pyramid, just like you think of Egyptian pyramid, it has a base and then they all go. So here's the base. Sometimes it's a triangle base, sometimes it's a square base, rectangular. Really, the base could be anything. They just go up to a point. That point is called the vertex. And then a cone has a base that's circular, and it goes as well to a vertex. And then a cube is just a type of prism, basically all 6 square faces. So the top and the bottom are square, and then all 4 sides. So we are going to talk also about a polyhedron. This is a fancy word for a space, a figure in space or a 3D figure. And each face is a polygon. So kind of labeling wise, the vertices or the vertex are all the little points. And right there. And the edges are these straight lines. And then the bases are the top and the bottom. Sometimes it's on its side, so you really just have to look for which 2 pieces match to know if it's a base, because they could be sitting the Kleenex box on its side. So here, our base, our top, and our bottom. And then the faces are all of these sides. So just a little vocab. It's like the sides of the Kleenex box. So that's a polyhedron. Prisms can be polyhedrons, and so can pyramids. But what can't be a polyhedron is a cylinder because the sides aren't faces. They're curved. And a cone can't be either because the sides are curved there as well. One quick way to remember what a prism is, somebody said it's 2 bases connected by faces. And then a pyramid is 1 base that comes to a point. So that is a kind of a shortened definition of those. A cylinder is two circles. Actually, I think if it's easier if I just write a canned good. That's kind of what a cylinder looks like. And then a cone is like an ice cream cone. One circle on the bottom for the cone and one on the top and bottom for the cylinder. So those are kind of some of our definitions. Here are some shapes. Just wanted you guys to practice naming them. So we're just going to kind of go through and see if we can name it. Let's start with this one. This one, the base is a hexagon. So you would call it a hexagonal prism. Hexagonal prism. Let's move that. The base is a hexagon, but it is not a prism because it comes to a point. So it would be a hexagonal pyramid. This one would be a pentagonal pyramid. And this one, since the bases are pentagons, it would be a pentagonal prism. This one is a rectangular prism. It shows those right angles, or quadrilateral prism, but rectangular prism, and then rectangular pyramid, and then triangular pyramid and triangular prism. So they just talk about it by the name of the base. A canned good, that would be an example of a cylinder. And a birthday party hat would be an example of a cone. So that's kind of some definitions. One new word we're going to learn is cross-section. If you have any of these shapes and you slice it up, so if you're like taking a knife and chop, cutting it into a lot of pieces. I can't really draw that. The best way I can think of is if you're at Breadco and you ask for your bagel bread sliced, they're slicing it into a lot of thin pieces. That is called the cross section. So the cross section is what shape do you see when you make the 3D shape or the 3D figure and you cut it. So this is a triangular prism, and when I cut it, I see a triangle. If I cut it in that way, you could cut it slanted, it might look a little bit different. So here's some pictures. If I take this cone and I bread slice it perfectly evenly, I will get a circle as my cross section. That is what I'm gonna see when I slice it. If I slice this hexagonal pyramid, I'm gonna see a hexagon as my bread slice or my cross section. And then this one's a little interesting. If you bread sliced it perfectly straight, you would see, I guess that's a rectangle or a square, but they accidentally cross-sectioned it sideways a little bit. So you're seeing this kind of shape. So I don't know, it's a little bit slanted, so it's a quadrilateral. If they had sliced it perfectly straight, it looks like it would have been a rectangular or maybe a square. But they kind of went diagonal, so some kind of quadrilateral. So watch out on those. So cross sections or bread slice. One other vocab word is a net. A net is just a diagram, and it's all the surfaces of a 3D figure that you need to make it. So if you were going to print this on flat paper and then you wanted to build it, that's kind of what they're saying. So this is a net. This piece right here would fold up, and this piece would fold up. Oops. And these triangles would fold up, and once they folded all together and were taped together, you would have a triangular prism. So this triangle would fold up, that would fold up, that would fold up, that would fold up. They would connect, you would tape them all together, and you'd have a 3D triangular prism. So a net is just what flat shape do you need to make a 3D one. This one looks to me like it would, the triangles would fold up. You'd have a square base or a rectangular base, some kind of quadrilateral base, and then you'd have a pyramid when they fold up. So this is saying it's a square pyramid. So what about these? To me, this one looks like you would have this as the base, and then the other triangles would fold upwards so that you had a triangular pyramid. This one, we've got these two circles on the side, right here. So I'm thinking that these are going to be the bases, and this rectangle is going to roll around them. So it looks like we're going to basically create a canned good or a cylinder. So a net is just what you would use a flat piece of paper and you'd cut it out so that you could make your 3D shape. Okay, so that was pretty quick. Today is just definitions before we jump into the numbers and finding areas and things. I just wanted you to kind of know what all those words meant. So just to recap, we talked about polyhedrons, which are basically a 3D figure and the surfaces are polygons. So faces, bases, edges, vertex or vertices. Prisms and pyramids are types of polyhedrons, but a cylinder and a cone are not. A prism is two bases connected by faces. Cylinder has two circular bases connected by a curved surface. A pyramid has one base and the faces go to a pyramid. And then a cone is a circular base and the curved surface goes to a point. So the pyramid, it went to a vertex, and the cone, it went to a vertex. We reviewed some names of types of prisms and pyramids. We looked at bread slicing or cross sections, and we also looked at nets, or what you would need out of a flat piece of paper to create a 3D shape. So that's our definitions for today. Your homework that you're going to do today as well is 10.1. which I put up on Classroom, and then I want you to draw or print out from your computer a net, then cut it out and take a picture of it to put in with your homework. Once you've taken a picture of the flat version, put together the net and tape it together so that it's 3D. Take a photo of that and also include it in your homework. So you can do it all in the Notability section, and then turn it into that spot on Google Classroom that I put up. Hope you guys have a great day. Welcome to Chapter 10.